The wealthy have discovered the secret to endless luxuries without having to worry about income. Stay tuned to find out how you can do the same. Welcome back to another episode of BAM, Business with Haitian American Millennials. Ever look at your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? I'm sure you've been there at least once or twice in your life. It's as if no matter how much money you make, you could just never make enough to cover all of your bills, your expenses, and your luxuries to splurge a little bit. But you know, as humans, it's our tendency to always think a solution to the problem is to make more money. But that's wrong. Simply put, you're never going to be able to make enough money to live a luxurious lifestyle and pay all of your bills and still have enough left over to save. Today, I'm going to share a secret with you that I learned from a very wealthy friend of mine. Ever since implementing this little bit of advice into my daily philosophy, my life has never been the same. This secret is well known amongst the upper class. However, because you guys are such loyal fans to BAM Business with Haitian American Millennials, I want to share this secret with you, but only under one condition. And that condition is to click the like and subscribe buttons down below. And don't forget to click that little notification bell so that you never miss out on any of our future episodes. Okay, so many of you guys might not know this, but I used to have a 9-to-5 job working for the government. It was a great job. It paid very well and it had great benefits. However, at the time, I was in college, so I was paying my tuition, I was paying my car note, I was paying rent because I was living off campus. Even though I was making so much more money than all of my friends, I was still living paycheck to paycheck. I could not understand what the heck was happening to all of my money. I just kept working more hours, doing overtime. You know, my thought was, you don't have enough money to cover your lifestyle? You want to go out, you want to go on vacation and stuff like that? All right, so just work more hours. But eventually I got burnt out. I got to the point where I no longer wanted to work this job anymore. I wanted to quit. I wanted to live my youth and have that college experience. There was a lot of times my friends were going to parties and stuff, or they would be out there having fun. I especially hated spring break, summer vacations, and winter vacations. But spring break was definitely the worst. I would be sitting there on Instagram or Snapchat watching all of my friends having fun, but I couldn't be there because I had to work. It was horrible. It made me feel like I was a slave to my job. But what could I do? I was stuck. If I quit the job, not only would it be highly irresponsible of me, but I would not be able to afford the lifestyle that I had at the time. I would not be able to pay my college tuition. I wouldn't be able to pay for my car or pay for my phone or any of my other bills. So I was stuck. But then, as fate would have it, I crossed paths with a very wealthy man who gave me a little bit of advice. He said to me, never pay for liabilities. Instead, buy assets to pay for your liabilities. This was such a revelation to me. How could the answer to all of my financial issues be so simple? How could it be boiled down to just one simple sentence? Never pay for liabilities, but buy assets to pay for your liabilities. After implementing my friend's advice, my life has never been the same. During the US governmental shutdown of 2018-2019, it was around December to January, I was out of work for about a month and a half, and this happened right at the holiday season. I remember too, I just totaled my car, so now I had no car, and I had no money to buy Christmas presents for my family. There was so much going on, and I'm out of a job, I'm not getting a paycheck. You know, most people will freak out. Like, what am I going to do? Especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck. But because of this advice that my friend gave me and implementing it in my life, I barely felt the financial burden. I was still able to afford all of my luxuries, go out, have fun, you know, buy nice clothes and everything. And I was still making all of my payments on time. All because of that one little bit of advice that my wealthy friend gave me. Weirdly enough, you could even say that I wish that the government shutdown lasted a little bit longer so I could go on vacation and enjoy it a little bit more. That's how unbothered I was. However, it's unfortunate. A lot of people did suffer in that, so I don't wish that on anybody. I'm just going to show you that I was really unaffected by this government shutdown, even though I was no longer receiving a paycheck. Anyway, in order for you guys to implement this rule in your life, you have to understand the difference between an asset and a liability. In simple, and again, these are overly simplistic definitions of the terms, but an asset is something that brings you money, and a liability is something that takes money away from you or costs you money. For example, a car, you might think that's an asset, however, it's a liability. You have your car note, you have your insurance, and you constantly have to put gas in the thing. That car doesn't bring you any money. All it does is take money out of your pockets. That car is a liability. Your phone does the same thing too. All you do is pay a monthly phone bill. Yeah, you need it so that you can, scroll through Instagram and stay in touch with the world and check the news or do whatever else you want to do. However, at the end of the day, your phone is considered a liability because it takes money away from you. Now, on the flip side, what would an asset be? An asset would be a house that you use as a rental property. Let's say you have a property that you rent out and the mortgage on that house and all your bills and expenses is $2,000. However, you rent it out for $3,000. That house is an asset because at the end of each month, that house makes you $1,000. $3,000 that you make in rent minus the $2,000 that for your mortgage and all your other bills is $1,000 in profit every month. That house is an asset. There are many other types of assets out there too. Stocks, anything that you can buy that's going to bring more money to you is an asset. No, just because I said a house is an asset, don't confuse it with the house that you live in, especially if you're not getting any rental income from that house. Because at the end of the day, you're just paying your mortgage payment or your rent or whatever it may be. And that house is just taking money away from you. Unless you're getting rental income or some other type of income from that house, which outweighs all of your expenses, then that house would be a liability. All right, so now that you guys know the difference between an asset and a liability, I want you guys to do a little exercise, all right? Grab a pen and paper and divide the sheet into two sections. On the first half, I want you to write asset, and on the second half, I want you to write liabilities. Now, go through everything that you own in your life, your car, your phone, your house or your apartment, everything that you own in your life. I want you to go through that list and think about whether this thing brings you in money or whether it's costing you money. Everything that's costing you money, I want you to put on the liability side. But everything that brings you in money, I want you to put on the asset side. I'm pretty sure at the end of the exercise, you'll probably look at the sheet and notice that you have way more liabilities than you have assets. That's perfectly fine. That's where we all start off, Nobody taught us this thing, and this is why I'm sharing this secret with you. Now, the goal is, even if you have only one asset or two assets, you want to make sure that your assets can pay for your liabilities. I'm not telling you for financial freedom that you need to get rid of all of your liabilities. No, in no way that's what I'm saying. We're all humans. We like nice things. We want to splurge a little bit. All I'm saying is that use your money to buy more assets, and now the money that comes from the assets pay for your liabilities. Now, if you do things that way, it doesn't matter if you have a job or not, if you get fired, if you quit, if the government shuts down. Because you already have these assets in place, your liabilities will always be paid for. As long as you have, let's say for instance, this rental property that's paying for your car and your phone, you don't have to worry about getting another paycheck because that house is always going to pay your car note. So your car won't get repoed from you if you don't have a paycheck. It's always going to pay your phone bill. So your phone won't get cut off if you don't get a paycheck. You get where I'm going here? So now this could be used for everybody, both people who work 9-to-5 jobs and people who are self-employed. I think it's a really good strategy for people who are self-employed. Let's say I'm a photographer, Yeah, photography might be my main business, but instead of using the money I'm making from photography to go out and pay my bills and buy nice things, let me use that money I get from photography to buy an asset. And now this asset is going to pay for all my nice things. Or if I'm a musician in a band, do the same thing. The checks that I'm getting from the band, I'm gonna use it to buy assets, and now the assets are gonna pay for all of my things. Now, if I get kicked out of the band, it doesn't matter. My assets are still gonna keep paying for all of my bills, and I'm gonna be set for life. You guys get where I'm going here? So from now on, here's what I want you guys to do. Whenever you want, let's say, a new car or a new phone or a new whatever, right? Or let's say you wanna go on vacation, you wanna go to Jamaica, right? Instead of thinking, how much money do I have to save up to go to Jamaica or to buy this new car? Think, what can I buy that's going to pay for me to buy this car? Or what can I buy that's gonna make enough money to pay my car note indefinitely? Or what can I buy that's gonna pay for me to take X amount of trips per year? Now you're thinking like the wealthy. Now you're on the road towards financial freedom. Now, if you have a job, all that money can go straight towards savings. Now you can build real wealth. Because remember what I said in another video. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. So if you have no bills coming out of the money that you're making in your 9-to-5 job, if 100% of your paycheck is staying for you, in no time, you're gonna be a millionaire. Let's say some of you guys are making $100,000 a year, because a lot of you guys probably went to school. You guys might have great careers, or 60,000, or even if it's 20,000 a year, or 5,000, whatever it may be. But think about if you had that entire paycheck to yourself and you had no bills coming out of that paycheck. You're already paying enough in taxes. The key thing that you want to do is make sure that you have assets that is going to pay for all of your liabilities. And now any other money that you make, that you're making yourself with your own time and your own energy, can be completely for you, and you can save it. Have all your bills and liabilities paid for by your assets, and use that money that you're making from your 9-to job or your side hustle or your band, the musician, your paintings and stuff like that. Keep using that money to buy other assets to pay for all the things that you want, and you will be set for life. If you're an artist and God forbid you lose your hands, then what? But if you have assets, you can still live that same exact lifestyle and not a thing will change. Yeah, it's gonna suck that now you can't paint anymore, but at least you still have all the nice things that you once had before, and you can still live that life of luxury. Thank you guys for tuning in to BAM, Business with Haitian American Millennials. Let me know if you found this information in this video useful, or if you think that I'm just full of crap and that it'll never work. Either way, I want to know your opinions on it. So leave those comments down below. And if you guys have any suggestions for a future video, whether that's something you don't understand or a topic that you would like me to discuss, please feel free to leave that down in the comments below. I look forward to reading your comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you. Livre les tripes, chaque 2 mois ou toi, livre font trip, livre les tripes.